Before the world has a chance to define your worth, speak to yourself like someone you believe in. Each morning is a blank canvas. What you whisper to your soul will become the brushstroke of your destiny. The way you talk to yourself in the silence of sunrise can determine whether you shrink back in fear or rise with unshakable power. Your inner dialogue isn't just talk, it's prophecy. And if you start the day by commanding your mind instead of reacting to the noise, you won't just survive the day, you'll conquer it. These aren't just affirmations. These are spiritual weapons, psychological armor, a code of greatness. Say them, live them, and watch your life bend to match your inner standard. Number 1, I am not my past. Today, I begin again. These 8 words are not just a mantra. They are liberation disguised as a sentence, a soul-deep declaration that you are not a prisoner of your mistakes, not the echo of your lowest moments, not a victim of your former self. The past may have shaped you, but it does not get to define you. The guilt, the shame, the missed chances, the broken relationships, the versions of you that settled, that gave up too soon, that didn't know better, they are chapters, not the whole book. And the beauty of life is that every morning you awaken with breath in your lungs. You are offered a divine reset, a clean slate, an invitation from the universe to recreate yourself. It doesn't matter if the world still remembers your failures. What matters is if you still live in them. You can leave that emotional graveyard. You can rise from the ashes of who you used to be. Because no matter how heavy yesterday was, you're not carrying it unless you choose to. The power to begin again is not something someone grants you. It's something you claim. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need approval to move on. And you certainly don't need perfection to start fresh. Life isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for a courageous one. The moment you decide that your past no longer gets a vote in your future, everything begins to shift. You stop apologizing for outgrowing things that once defined you. You stop explaining your healing. You stop shrinking to fit the expectations of people who only knew a wounded version of you. Starting over doesn't mean forgetting. It means forgiving yourself first. It means taking the wisdom from your pain but leaving the poison behind. It means saying, yes, that happened, but I am still here and I am choosing life again today. This single choice, to speak life into your morning instead of reliving depth from the past, becomes the turning point. You begin to see yourself not as a broken story, but as a breakthrough in motion. And you realize that even your worst chapters gave birth to strength, compassion, grit, and depth that comfort cannot teach. You were never meant to stay in the guilt. You were meant to pass through it, to learn what it taught you, and to become someone stronger on the other side. The reason you still have breath is because there is more to do, more to love, more to become, and none of that is changed to the pain behind you. So speak this truth over your soul with unshakable conviction. I am not my past. I am not what I failed to do. I am not who I used to be. I am who I choose to become starting now. You are allowed to rise. You are allowed to be new. You are allowed to surprise the world and yourself with the power of your becoming. Because healing is not a destination. It's a daily decision. And today you've decided to begin again. Let that be enough. Let that be everything. Number 2, my energy is sacred, and I choose where it flows. These aren't just words. They are a declaration of sovereignty, a reminder that your inner power is not a bottomless well for everyone to sip from, not a public resource for others to exploit, but a divine force that deserves reverence, boundaries, and intentional direction. Every morning, before the demands of the world come crashing in, you must center yourself in this truth. Your energy is your currency. And just like money, When you spend it without intention, you end up bankrupt, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. The moment you wake up, the world begins asking for pieces of you. Notifications, emails, drama, obligations, people who want to be close to you, not to support you, but to feed off of you. And if you don't decide where your energy goes, someone else will decide for you. They'll drain you without guilt, they'll distract you without purpose, they'll demand your attention without adding any value. That's why you must rise with clarity, not chaos. This isn't about being selfish, it's about being wise. Because the truth is, when you leak energy into people, habits and thoughts that don't serve your highest self, you begin to disconnect from your purpose. You lose your clarity. You say yes to things that water down your focus. You chase validation instead of peace. And eventually, you wake up wondering why you feel tired, even after a full night's sleep. It's not your body. It's your spirit that's exhausted. It's not rest you need. It's boundaries. You are not meant to carry everyone. You are not meant to entertain every conversation, explain yourself to everyone who misunderstands you, or show up for every cause that tugs on your empathy. Your power lies in discernment. Who gets access to your time? Who earns your attention? Who gets the privilege of your presence? These aren't questions rooted in arrogance. They're rooted in spiritual maturity. Because when you honor your energy, you begin to elevate your life. You stop reacting and you start responding. You stop over-explaining and you start conserving your peace. You stop running on fumes and you start moving from overflow. That's when you become magnetic, not because you're trying to impress, but because your energy becomes pure, potent, and purposeful. People feel it when you walk into the room. You're not scattered, you're centered. You're not needy, you're nourished. You're not trying to force connection because you know what's aligned will never have to be chased. You're not begging to be seen because you've already seen yourself. Your energy becomes a sanctuary. Only those who come with respect, intention, and reciprocity are welcome. And here's the secret. When you treat your energy like it's sacred, the universe mirrors that respect. You begin to attract people who feed your flame instead of dim your light. You start seeing opportunities that match your frequency. You begin to walk with a confidence that isn't loud, but unshakably grounded. So every morning, remind yourself, I don't owe my energy to everyone. I don't owe explanations for my boundaries. I don't need to be available all the time to prove I care. I am not here to please, I am here to align. And alignment requires discernment. It requires stillness. It requires the courage to be misunderstood in order to be at peace. Protecting your energy isn't isolation, it's calibration. It's learning how to pour into yourself so that what overflows can bless others without draining you. It's realizing that some people don't deserve access just because they've had history with you. That some thoughts don't deserve your attention just because they're loud. That some spaces aren't toxic, they're just too small for your evolution. When you live by this truth, you stop shrinking, you stop diluting yourself to fit into rooms you've outgrown. You stop apologizing for choosing solitude over chaos. Because you know that energy is the language of the soul, and yours is worth protecting. So declare it boldly. My energy is sacred. I choose where it flows. And from this moment forward, I refuse to waste it on anything that does not water my growth, honor my peace, or fuel my purpose. That's not just self-care, it's self-respect. That's not just a mindset, it's a new standard. That's not just a sentence, It's a revolution of the soul. Number 3, I have everything I need within me. This is not just a comforting phrase, it is a radical awakening, a soul-level realization that you were never meant to spend your life chasing, begging, comparing or doubting, because the very essence of your power, your worth, your genius, and your healing already lives inside you. You are not a broken project waiting to be completed by someone else's approval, not an empty vessel hoping to be filled by outside success, nor a powerless being in need of rescuing. You are the answer you keep searching for, the strength behind your struggles, the voice beneath the noise, and the fire beneath the ashes. The world conditions you to believe that you're not enough, that you must hustle harder, earn more, look better, or be more likable to finally feel whole. But that is a lie disguised as motivation. The truth is, you came into this world already complete. Not perfect, but whole. And every challenge you face, every heartbreak you endure, every delay you suffer is not proof of lack. It is a test, a refinement, a divine process, unfolding to reveal the depth and brilliance that already exists within you. The courage you need, it's already in your chest. The wisdom you're seeking, it's in your spirit, waiting for silence. The clarity you're chasing, it comes when you stop running. Yes, mentors can guide you, tools can help you, and support can lift you, but none of it works if you don't first trust yourself. And this is where everything shifts. When you stop outsourcing your power and start owning your inner resources. You begin to move through life, not from desperation, but from deep knowing. You stop needing validation because your inner voice becomes louder than external opinion. You stop hesitating not because fear disappears, but because faith in yourself becomes stronger. That's what this truth unlocks, inner authority. And with it comes peace. The kind of peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. Because when you know you already have what it takes, the pressure to prove fades, and the freedom to create flows. You realize that life is not about acquiring more. It's about awakening to what's already inside. You've already survived what was meant to destroy you. You've already heard the lies and still chosen to rise. You've already walked through pain and turned it into power. That's proof. Proof that you are not lacking. You are layered. And sometimes life strips away what you don't need, just to show you what you already have. So every morning, when you feel uncertain, when you feel like you're not enough, when the weight of the world tells you to seek something outside, pause, breathe, and return to the truth. I have everything I need within me. You have resilience that can't be taught, a spirit that can't be broken, and a soul that knows the way even when your mind is confused. You don't need to copy others because your blueprint is sacred. You don't need to chase popularity because your presence is powerful. You don't need to become anyone else because your uniqueness is your superpower. And even on the days you feel lost, that inner compass still works. It's just waiting for you to trust it again. When you walk in this truth, you become dangerous to everything that tried to break you. You become untouchable to doubt, unshakable in storms, and unstoppable in your mission. Because you're no longer looking outward, you're living inward. You realize that success doesn't come from becoming someone else. It comes from becoming more fully yourself, the real you, the raw you. The version of you that isn't filtered for likes, edited for approval, or quieted for comfort. That version of you has always been there, brave, bold, brilliant. And now It's your time to let that version lead. You are not empty. You are not broken. You are not waiting to become enough. You already are. So let the world keep rushing, keep comparing, keep chasing. But you, be still, be certain. Be grounded in the truth that your greatest weapon is not something to be found, it's something to be remembered. The moment you stop doubting yourself is the moment your life will start reflecting the truth of who you are. Say it, believe it, and embody it every single day. I have everything I need within me, because you always have, and now you're ready to live like it. Number 4. I move with purpose, not pressure. These 7 words are not just a statement. They are a rebellion against the noise of a world that worships urgency, glorifies burnout, and confuses busyness with progress. To move with purpose is to anchor yourself in intention, to act from clarity rather than chaos, to rise each day not because you're being pushed by fear, guilt, or outside expectations, but because you're being pulled by something deeper. Vision, meaning, truth. We live in a culture obsessed with speed, where the louder the world gets, the more you're expected to keep up, perform, and respond instantly. As if your worth is measured by how quickly you produce, how available you are, or how much you can endure before breaking. But pressure is a thief. It robs you of joy, creativity, and connection. It convinces you that rest is weakness and that saying no is failure. It pushes you into rooms you don't belong in and into battles that aren't yours to fight. It makes you rush decisions, compare your journey, and doubt your timing. But purpose? Purpose is different. Purpose is steady. Purpose is quiet strength. It's the calm inside the storm that reminds you why you started in the first place. When you move with purpose, you don't chase validation, you carry conviction. You don't react to every voice, you listen to your own. You don't live to impress, you live to impact. Purpose doesn't scream for attention, it speaks through consistency, through alignment, through staying rooted in what actually matters to you, not what others expect from you. And the moment you stop letting pressure lead is the moment you take your power back. You begin to ask different questions. Does this align with my values? Does this feed my soul or just stroke my ego? Am I doing this because I want to or because I feel I have to? And with every honest answer, you begin to unlearn the lies that told you you're only as good as your productivity. You realize that slowing down is not quitting, that rest is not laziness, that doing less with purpose is more powerful than doing more under pressure. And you begin to notice something powerful. The more you align with purpose, the more pressure loses its grip. You're no longer swayed by other people's urgency. You stop trying to prove yourself in rooms where your presence isn't honored. You stop hustling for a seat at tables you were never meant to eat at. You no longer live for applause. You live for alignment. Purpose allows you to say yes with your whole chest and no without guilt. It gives you the courage to disappoint others in order to remain true to yourself. It teaches you that clarity is a form of protection, and that when you stop doing things out of obligation, your life starts filling with inspiration. Purpose teaches you to lead your life instead of being led by it. You stop being a puppet of pressure and start becoming the author of your own peace. And even when things get hard, because they will, purpose gives you endurance that pressure never could. Pressure exhausts you. Purpose fuels you. Pressure drains your joy. Purpose deepens it. Pressure is about performance. Purpose is about presence. And presence, true presence, is where your power lives. So wake up each day and ask yourself, am I moving from alignment or from anxiety? From inspiration or from insecurity? Your body knows the difference. Your soul feels the difference. One path burns you out, your other builds. One leads to resentment, the other to fulfillment. Moving with purpose doesn't mean you have it all figured out. It means you know what matters and you let that guide you. It means you can walk away from pressure-filled opportunities that don't align with your values and trust that what's truly yours will never require you to betray yourself. It means you stop letting deadlines define your destiny and instead move in rhythm with your own divine timing. Purpose is not always glamorous. Sometimes it's quiet, unseen, and misunderstood by those around you. But it's yours, and that makes it sacred. When you move with purpose, you don't just change your own life, you become a light for others who are still trapped under pressure. You show them what freedom looks like, what alignment feels like, what living on your own terms truly means. So declare it, embody it. Let it guide every step you take. I move with purpose, not pressure. That is not just a mindset. It's your freedom, your strength, and your legacy. Number 5, what's meant for me cannot miss me. This is not blind optimism. It's a sacred surrender. A deep spiritual confidence that no force, no failure, no delay, and no detour can keep you from what's divinely aligned with your destiny. It's the unshakable truth that the things, people, opportunities, and moments that are truly meant for you are not dependent on your perfection, nor will they be scared away by your flaw. You don't have to beg, chase, or cling to what's already been written into your story. You don't have to manipulate timing, compromise your soul, or shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never designed for your expansion. The moment you internalize this truth, anxiety begins to loosen its grip, desperation begins to dissolve, and you start walking with a grace that only trust can give. You understand that rejection is not always a punishment. It's often protection. There's always a path that is always protection. That delay is not always denial, it's divine redirection. That when something or someone slips through your fingers, it didn't escape, it wasn't meant to stay. You stop being angry at closed doors because you realize they're not dead ends, they're detours to higher ground. You stop losing sleep over the what-ifs because your peace no longer depends on what left, but on what's still to come. You stop overthinking your path because faith becomes your compass, not fear. This mindset doesn't make life easier, but it does make it clearer. You stop questioning your worth every time something doesn't go your way because you know that your value is not tied to temporary outcomes. You stop forcing connections that feel one-sided because you realize what's real won't require you to beg for it. You stop rushing the process because you trust the timing of a universe that's never been late. And when the storms come, as they always do, you hold your ground not because you know what's next, but because you believe in what's promised. This belief is not passive, it's powerful. It doesn't mean you sit back and wait for life to hand you miracles. It means you show up every day with full faith and focused effort, knowing that what's meant for you will meet you at the intersection of preparation and divine timing. It means you do the work, but you release the worry. You plant the seeds, but you don't panic over when they'll bloom. You keep moving forward, but you don't chase what runs, because what's yours won't run. It will rise to meet you. And sometimes what's meant for you doesn't look like a blessing at first. Sometimes it looks like loss, like pain, like isolation, like being overlooked or underestimated, like you being overlooked or underestimate. But hidden inside every no is a higher yes. Hidden inside every ending is the beginning of something that would never have fit inside the old version of you. You weren't meant to keep everything. You were meant to carry only what aligns. That's why people walk away, jobs fall through, dreams evolve, and seasons shift, not to harm you, but to refine you. And when you hold on to this truth, your posture changes. The posture changes. You start showing up differently. You trust your path, not your panic. You walk with assurance, not attachment. You stop trying to convince anyone to stay because you trust that who's meant for you will recognize you without persuasion. You stop fearing missed opportunities because you know the right ones come back around with perfect precision. This isn't just a mindset. It's a spiritual strategy. It's the art of releasing what's not for you so you can receive what is. It's the wisdom of choosing peace over pressure, faith over force, and alignment over approval. So no matter what stage of life you're in, whether you're rebuilding, waiting, grieving, healing, or rising again, let this be your anthem. What's meant for me cannot miss me. Say it when doors close. Say it when people walk away. Say it when you feel behind. Say it when you don't understand the why. Say it when the vision is clear but the path is dark. Say it until your soul believes it. Because the truth is, what's truly yours is not in someone else's hands. It's already written, already unfolding, already on its way. And when it arrives, it will fit. It will feel right. It will not require the betrayal of yourself to receive it. So trust the timing, honor the process, and keep walking in faith. Because every step you take brings you closer to what was always meant to find you. Number 6, my mind is my power, and I command it today. This is more than a positive affirmation. It is a solemn vow to yourself. A conscious act of reclaiming the throne of your own consciousness, where every thought either builds your future or breaks your momentum. Your mind is the control center of your life, the architect of your reality, the battlefield where every victory or defeat begins long before it ever manifests in the physical world. What you think, you become. What you allow, you empower. What you dwell on, you invite. And every single morning, before the noise of the world enters your ears, you are given a sacred opportunity to choose the thoughts that will govern your day. Will you be led by fear or by faith? By self-doubt or by self-mastery? By reactive thoughts rooted in survival or intentional thoughts rooted in creation? The difference between a person who rises and one who remains stuck is not talent, not luck, not privilege, but mental discipline. Because the truth is, your outer life will never exceed the quality of your inner dialogue. If your mind is full of doubt, chaos, and fear, your results will mirror confusion, inconsistency, and stagnation. But when you take the reins and choose to command your mind instead of letting it command you, everything begins to shift. You stop letting anxiety narrate your future. You stop allowing past failures to ride your identity. You stop feeding thoughts that drain you, and you start programming thoughts that empower you. And yes, your mind will resist at first because it's wired to protect you, not to evolve you. It's designed to keep you safe in comfort, even if comfort means suffering. But that's where your power comes in, not to silence the mind, but to lead it. You don't have to believe every thought that appears. You don't have to obey every fear that whispers. You don't have to surrender to the voice that says, "You're not ready. You're not enough. You can't do this." Instead, you meet those thoughts with authority. I am in control. I decide what stays. I choose the frequency I operate on today. And when you do that daily, your mindset becomes a fortress. You become mentally unshakable, not because life gets easier, but because your mind gets stronger. You become the kind of person who doesn't crumble under pressure, who doesn't get distracted by noise, who doesn't spiral into negativity when things go wrong, because you've trained your mind to serve you, not sabotage you. And the truth is, whatever you feed your mind first thing in the morning becomes your lens for the rest of the day. If you wake up and focus on lack, you'll find reasons to feel empty. If you focus on gratitude, you'll see beauty everywhere. If you focus on fear, you'll move cautiously and doubtfully. But if you focus on power, on what you can control, on what you do have, on who you are becoming, then you will move with clarity, confidence, and courage. And this isn't just about motivation, it's about mental mastery. It's about refusing to live as a prisoner of unconscious programming, about breaking the loop of reactive thinking that keeps you stuck in cycles of sabotage. It's about showing up every single day and telling your mind where to go instead of letting it pull you in 100 directions. You command it with focus, with affirmations, with boundaries, with truth. Because when you master your mind, you master your reality. You start seeing obstacles as opportunities. You turn pain into purpose. You use rejection as redirection. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start being a creator of your life. And even when life gets chaotic, which it will, you remain grounded because your mind has been trained to seek clarity, not chaos, to seek purpose, not panic, to seek progress, not perfection. So remind yourself each morning, I am not powerless, I am not my past, I am not my fear, I am the thinker of my thoughts, the master of my mental state, the commander of my destiny. Say it with fire, say it with faith, say it until your subconscious believes it. Because when you command your mind, everything else follows. Your emotions, your habits, your decisions, your results. And that's when the world begins to respond differently to you, because you've changed the signal you're sending out. No longer a victim of thought, you've become the director. No longer reactive, you've become intentional. No longer scattered, you are now focused. And in that state, there is nothing you cannot do. So claim it daily. My mind is my power, and I command it today. That is how transformation begins, from the inside out, from thought to action, from belief to reality. Number 7. I rise, not just to exist, but to impact. These words are a declaration of awakening, a call to live beyond survival, beyond routine, beyond mere existence, and to step fully into the purpose that only you can fulfill in this world. To rise each day with the awareness that your life is not random, your presence is not accidental, and your journey, however broken, painful, or confusing it may have been, is not without purpose. You are not here just to clock in and out of days, to check boxes and repeat cycles, to be consumed by distractions and drained by obligations. No. You are here to shift something, to change someone, to light a path, to heal a wound, to lift a soul, to build a bridge, to start a ripple that becomes a wave. You are here to impact. And impact doesn't mean you have to be famous, followed, or flashy. It means you live with intention, that you understand every word you speak, every energy you give, every choice you make is either lifting others or pulling them down, either adding light or adding noise. When you rise to impact, you move differently. You speak life instead of gossip. You bring presence instead of distraction. You carry solutions instead of excuses. You stop asking, what do I need today? Then you begin to ask, what can I give today? Not from a place of depletion, but from a place of abundance, because your life becomes an overflowing vessel when you align with something greater than yourself. And that's the secret. Impact is not about self-glorification. It's about selfless contribution. You realize that the struggles you've faced were not in vain. They were preparing you, humbling you, shaping you into someone with depth and compassion. Someone who doesn't just talk about the light, but knows what it means to rise from the darkness. And from that place, you can touch lives in ways you'll never fully understand. Maybe it's the way you listen without judging, the way you forgive when it's not deserved, the way you stay soft in a hard world, the way you speak truth when it would be easier to stay silent, the way you show up consistently when it would be easier to disappear. Impact is found in the small things done with great love. You don't need a stage. You don't need applause.